Hey, what's up everybody? This is your boy Kenny and welcome back to KRS TV. And this is my thoughts and commentary on Roseanne's show being canceled due to her Twitter remarks about Valerie Jarrett. Man, this is crazy because at the end of the day, Roseanne has always been like this. I mean, from the moment she took the stage of comedy, she has always been very outlandish, very outspoken. She has made a lot of political remarks over the years that'll make a lot of people's, that will pretty much make your hair stand up. So Roseanne is known to do this shit. And I have to admit, for one, me and my brother used to watch her show all the time growing up as kids. And at the time, because at the time I think the only mainstream black shows that were on TV when Roseanne first came out was The Cosby Show and A Different World. And within Cosby Show I think ended in 92 and I think Different World was going to 93. So you have Roseanne and most of all the other mainstream shows were shows that had a white cast. But I was a huge fan of Roseanne. Me and my brother used to watch the show because, it was great seeing white trash on TV. It was hilarious, because, hey, white people, you got some poor white people too. You got poor people everywhere, So it was a good show that I liked, but then they also had shows where they touched on, homosexuality, racism, all of these different things. So I always knew that Roseanne always kind of had that thing with her. When it came down to blacks or it came down to gays or whatever, she had her ways about her. So to tell you the truth, the shit she said about Valerie Jarrett didn't surprise me. But then again, it was stupid on her end to do that shit because you just got this major deal with ABC when they decided to relaunch Roseanne. And the great thing and the crazy thing about it, you were getting all of these views. You actually got approved for a second season when you just started your first, and that rarely happens. The only time I know something like that happened was with Queen Sugar, when Queen Sugar was approved for a second season before the first season even premiered. So based on logistics, if they make a call to give you another season, it's because they know what you have is a hit. So that very rarely happens. So the fact that happened to Roseanne, you got approved for a second season, you're getting all of these crazy views. I mean, you're getting like millions of views like nightly. People are tuning in to now have your show canceled within its first season. This is crazy. Because pretty much what she said about Valerie Jarrett, and Valerie Jarrett, for those who don't know her, she was a former aide to Barack Obama, and I think she's also an attorney. She pretty much put in this tweet that the Muslim Brotherhood, if the Muslim Brotherhood and the Planet of the Apes were to have a baby, it will equal Valerie Jarrett. Probably one of the most blatant racist tweets you could ever put out there. And then afterwards, she tried to backtrack it and say that, I didn't mean anything by that. But it was already done. I mean, even though you erase a tweet, once you put it out there, it's out there. And you're a public figure, and you're a fucking public figure, bitch. Why the hell would you even do some shit like that? That was dumb. Because the thing about it, as I said, Roseanne has always been like this. But this is now the age of social media. Back in the day, she could do that kind of shit, and it wouldn't have caused a much of a ruckus because you didn't have social media. We had social media, but it wasn't as big as it is now. You didn't have Facebook and Twitter and all of that during that time. At that time, we were just starting to get on the internet. So actually, let me take it back. There was no social media at that time in the early 90s and shit. It really wasn't a thing back then. we emailed and stuff like that, but there really was no social media at that time. So these have always been her views, but now she's doing this shit in a totally different game. Now you got social media, so everything you say and do, you literally got that microscope where everyone in the world can see you, even in your darkest moments. Because if you put it out there on social media, people are watching. And you're a public figure who's representing, a big corporation, ABC. And on top of it, you were the #1 rated show on the fucking station. And here it is, by you making these type of comments, talking out your ass, you done ruined it for everybody. Because that's where the upset for me is, that all of these people who believed in the show, people who were working with the show, one of them, Wanda Sykes, and Wanda Sykes is a phenomenal comedian. I'm a huge fan of hers, but she's a great comedic writer. I mean, she kind of comes from the same class of like Paul Mooney, because Paul Mooney is a great comedic writer as well. So, the fact that she just walked away, that definitely sent Soundwave that the actual creative force was one of the people that said, "Oh, I ain't fucking with this bitch no more. I'm done. Deuces." And I'm like, so therefore, this affected a lot of people, because the name Roseanne had a lot that came with it. John Goodman, Laurie Metcalf, and Sarah Gilbert. All of these people, and the cast and the crew, everybody behind the scenes. These are hundreds upon thousands of people who are involved in this show that now no longer have a job because of Roseanne and her stupid ass. Because the bitch is stupid. I'ma just be real. She dumb as hell. I mean, even though I can honestly say I was a fan, because I knew how Roseanne was. And my whole thing is, at least give it to me up front of my face, so at least I know who you are. And Roseanne has never shied away from that. Roseanne does have racist views. She is homophobic. And she does like to talk out her ass. We've known this about Roseanne from day one. But in the new age of entertainment and social media, that doesn't go very well. And it doesn't always work in your favor. So, Miss Roseanne Barr got a motherfucking wake-up call, because just a day or so ago, they canceled your show, and you were the #1 show on the network. So, even though you're the #1 show on the network, that don't mean shit. You can still get your show canceled if you don't choose to toe the line. And another reason why I say Roseanne is a stupid bitch, you made that fucking comment about this woman, and the damn president of ABC is a black woman. A black woman was cutting your checks, you dumbass. Oh my goodness. So I'm like, girl, you weren't thinking at all. I mean, you entitled to feel how the way you feel about Valerie Jarrett. But to put it out there like that was very cruel, very disrespectful, and out of line. And at the end of the day, bitch, if you knew the fucking game like you're supposed to know it, you would have known that you're still representing the show even when you're not on air. You're a public figure, so everything you say and do is gonna be under a microscope, because they're paying you millions to put your show back on. And you had America at your fingertips, boo-boo. They were eating it up. And here you go, deciding to make an outlandish tweet, and now it cost your career. You're now losing your endorsements. Your agency dropped you. You was about to get like a little comedy tour. That shit's been canceled. Bitch, you ruined your whole fucking livelihood. So Roseanne is done. Like, done. like, 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 well done. Like, there's no coming back from this shit. Roseanne's through. Because, no, boo-boo. You will never have the heights of fame or success that you once had, bitch. You have completely put the nail in your own coffin with your bullshit. Because, bitch, you in a totally different time. See, back then when you was talking all that crazy shit, pretty much whites dominated television back then. Now, you got Empire, you got Queen Sugar, you got the Mindy Project. You got a lot of these different races who, different race of people who are now leading some of these top shows. Empire, How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal. Well, even though Scandal's off the air now, but, still. You got all of these. Now you in an age where there are a lot of black shows out here now that are now mainstream shows. You're now in a world where you can't say the same shit you did back in the day and get away with it because whites dominated the airwaves. Now, there's been a somewhat of a renaissance in television because all of these, black shows that are now mainstream. Empire, Star, Queen Sugar, The Haves and the Have-Nots. You got a lot of these shows now that there's a slew of them now where there were probably when there weren't any back then. I mean, you had the Cosby Show in a different world, but then 92 and 93, those shows were gone, and we didn't have any real mainstream black TV shows. We had black TV shows, but they weren't as mainstream as Roseanne. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have that same platform. But now we have shows that we now have black shows that do have that platform. So for you to do that shit and think there was going to be no backlash was dumb as hell. And she probably knew it was going to be some backlash. That's why she apologized. But by then it was too much, too little, too late. And not in a good way. So, bye Roseanne. It was a pleasure. I don't know if it was a pleasure. We had our moments. I mean, because I did like the show at one point. I mean, I even started watching the new show because me and my brother were big fans of Roseanne. Like, when we were kids and stuff, we would be, or like when we were like in our teens, me and my brother would fucking make some food and we'll, probably pop some popcorn and watch Roseanne on Nick at Night. We were big fans of her show. And it wasn't just Roseanne. I loved the show. I loved all of the actors. I'm a big John Goodman fan. I'm also a big Laurie Metcalf fan. Yeah, Laurie Metcalf. Yeah, I'm a big fan of hers. If I said her name wrong, correct me in the comments. I always get her last name tripped up. I mean, and on top of it, she just not too long ago got an Oscar nomination. So Laurie Metcalf was the best actress on that show, in my opinion. She's the only one. I think she won like 2 Emmys when she was on the show before. She's a great actress. Sarah Gilbert, another great actress. She's now, a part of. She was actually one of the executive producers on the show, and she's on The Talk. And it's just like, wow. These are characters that my brother, as well as everyone grew up with watching them. And then on top of it, DJ, he just got back on television because the last time we saw DJ was when Roseanne ended. That was the last time we saw DJ on television. And now they brought back DJ for the revival, and now he ain't got no job no more. So Roseanne, what you did was just so stupid. It was selfish. It was out of line, out of order, and completely out of time. Because now your time is up. Time's up, bitch. And I'm saying, like, even in this day and age where you have all of this political and civil unrest right now due to the fact that we have Trump in the White House, and even though she's a supporter of Trump, at the end of the day, bitch, what you did wasn't smart, because now by you doing that shit, it could have easily backfired on your show as well as with the president of ABC. But if anything, y'all all knew that Roseanne was the way she was, though, so y'all obviously knew that when y'all decided to bring her ass back. You know how Roseanne gets down. And I know Roseanne to be a loudmouth crazy bitch. She's always been that. That's her judge. That's her moneymaker right there. But it's just that now she just went too far. And now she's paying for that shit. So, bye, Roseanne girl. It's been a pleasure knowing you. So that's what I have, y'all. But I'd like to hear your thoughts and critiques on this as well, because I know there's going to be some opposing views on the situation. You know, feel free to to put things down. And feel free to share your thoughts and opinions about this. I just ask that you respect me, because I'm not going to take any disrespect from any of you. So if you get on here just being disrespectful, I will not acknowledge you. So just letting that be known right now. But if you have opposing views on this situation, I'd love to hear your thoughts. But that's what I have. So subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with another thought and commentary. So until next time, everybody, take care.